Good morning, you guys. Welcome to Evita Cooks and Gardens. And today I'm in the main garden to continue the succession planting that we discussed a couple of videos ago. Right over here we have some of that bolted cilantro that's still on the ground because I've been picking and removing the bolted cilantro and reserving the dry seeds. Even though it still has some of the green seeds, that's not a problem because I do use the green cilantro or coriander seeds for cooking. I'm going to be making steak today, and these will add a delicious flavor to the steak. The cilantro that we planted a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact about 2.5 weeks ago, it's looking beautiful. And even though you can't see it right now, right in front of it, I went ahead and started the succession planting of the next crop, and hopefully that'll start to come up in the next couple of days. About a week ago, I noticed that I had a couple of hornworms. I believe I took care of it, but not before they destroyed most of my tomatoes, like this Park's Whopper that I had planted right here. It looks like it's coming back up. I'm getting a little bit of green leaf, so I'm going to continue monitoring it and see what happens. I have more bolted cilantro right here. This is the last of the cilantro from that succession planting that we did earlier. Sadly, the pink brandywine was decimated by the hornworm, and some of my cherry tomatoes. While I'm crushed and a little bit upset about it, I am a little bit excited because I did learn something new. So hopefully the next time that I plant my tomatoes, I'll have better luck. I'm also very excited about this right here. It is year, I believe 4, maybe 5 of me trying to grow kulantro, and looks like the seeds I brought back from the University of Puerto Rico are starting to come up. So I sprinkle those in this area, and we have another one right here. Happy about that, super excited about that, to be honest with you. I have a couple more right over here, and on the other side of the garden, right there. And what I did is I allowed a couple of them to go to seeds. I'm going to show you really quick what those look like, and that is these right here. Now, if you don't want your culantro to bolt or go to seed, when the culantro starts to come up like this, if you notice that it shoots a stem like this one, that is the seed stem. So what you're supposed to do to keep it from bolting and allowing the culantro leaves to grow, you're supposed to trim this stem. And I've noticed that with this experiment that I am conducting right here, that stem has been coming up quite often. So every week I come out to the garden and inspect the few plants of culantro that I have and trim the stem, with the exception of these, like I said, because I'm going to allow those to go to seed so I can collect the seed, especially because it seems to be a good seed. Because as you can see, I was able to propagate some of it. On the other side right here, I have a few more, and these look spectacular. Again, I'm letting that one go to seed, and then these are a little bit more mature. Culantro can grow very long leaves. Culantro, unlike cilantro, is a very potent herb. You don't need to use an awful lot of it, so maybe 1 or 2 leaves is all you need for your dinner. So I'm not going to be messing around with this one because for the time being I'm just observing to see how the culantro does on this side of the garden. Maybe later on with these seeds I can try to grow it on the other garden or the new garden and see how we do, but for the time being I'm very excited because after, like I said, 4 maybe 5 years, I was successful at growing culantro. Right over here we're still keeping an eye on that horseradish, that cassava or yuca. The leeks went to seed, and I'm also going to allow those to go to seeds because I want to collect this one. But check this baby out. She is almost dry. Maybe in about a week or so I'm going to start collecting those seeds as well. We have some of the ginger coming up as well. I don't think you can see it there. The jaltea this year has really thrived, especially that one. Check that out. And I think for the following spring, what I'm going to do is, once I harvest all the jaltea, this is probably one of the smallest ones I have on this side of the garden, but once I harvest all of this jaltea, I'm going to start it on the back side of the garden right there, maybe next to the plantains, which by the way are thriving, and I'm going to take you up there so you can see what's been happening with the plantains in the last couple of weeks. But before I do that, one of the reasons why I started to thin and clean out a little bit of this garden is because I need to make room for some of those other vegetables that I like and I enjoy having in the garden. And what you're looking at, even though you can't see it right here, you do see a row that looks like it's been compacted. And this morning I planted some rainbow carrots, and these are new to the garden. I'm not sure how they'll do. Hopefully they'll thrive, because I did do a lot of research hoping that I am successful. And being that I'm just simply teaching myself how to garden and also trying to learn as much as I can about the different things that I can plant here in Central Florida, it's exciting to see the different things that have been happening, and also a little bit heartbreaking because I have had many failures, but I've also learned quite a bit from my experience. Right over here, let me see if I can show you the ginger, which I thought that I had moved to the other garden, but apparently I missed a couple. But here is our ginger. There's a little bit more coming up right here and right over here. So that is pretty much it for the update on this side of the garden. Look at the cilantro from a different view right here. And you don't have to wait until it fully matures to start using it. You can really use it whenever you want. The younger the cilantro, the more tasty it is, to be honest with you. That is one of those herbs that I need to have available at all times. And the prices of cilantro in the supermarket have skyrocketed. Before, I used to be able to get a bunch for $3, $4. Now you're lucky if you pay $1.89 for a little bunch, and I think that's ridiculous, and I refuse to do that. So for as long as I can grow it, I will. Here's that Cherokee tomato that is blooming, and I'm hoping to have fruit from it very soon. Right about here in the new garden, or the new side of the garden, I started more cilantro. This sweet cachucha pepper, I had it on the other side of the garden and it was not doing too well, so I decided to transplant it here. I did take a chance because this is probably the third time I move her, but I'm hopeful that she'll do well here. And alongside from here all the way to that side, I spread some cilantro and kulantro seeds that, fingers crossed, are going to yield quite a bit of cilantro and kulantro. Again, this is an experiment. I'm hoping the kulantro takes well to this side of the garden, but we'll just have to wait and see. In a couple of weeks I'll update you. Right here I have some butternut squash that I started. I have to thin these out and move them probably to the side where I started the corn that I brought from Puerto Rico as well. I'll just have to see how the corn does first, and maybe when the corn is about 8 to 10 inches tall, I'll see if I can just weave a couple of butternut squash plants right by them, because they will make very good companion plants for the corn. This side right here, we are going to be cleaning it out and emptying out the dirt and prepping it probably for some onions and garlic this fall. I had thought about maybe doing some potatoes, but I think I'm going to stick with the garlic and the onion instead. Of course, I'm not removing the rosemary, and the spinach is doing very good too. She'll stay there as well. All of these pepper plants are going to be removed. This is their third year on this bed, which I'm very surprised that they survived. But I think when we clean out this area, we're going to be removing all these jalapeno and pepper plants, because I want to restart this side of the garden with something new. Like I said, maybe some onions and garlic. And finally, right around here on the new garden, I'm going to be planting more of those rainbow carrots. So this afternoon we're going to be working on this side and preparing it to spread some of those rainbow carrot seeds. And last but not least, I'm going to take you back to show you what's been happening with the plantains. One of the things I can tell you is that my dad has been boasting about how well I did with the seeds he brought me from Puerto Rico, because he just can't get over the fact that they are so upright. He says they're almost perfect. So I'll take that as a compliment from him. But what's been happening is that we have babies. We have one right there and right there, and these are the seeds that my dad brought me. And there's another one over there, and one right over here. And look at this one. Gorgeous. Now, according to my dad, because we're seeing seeds already, that's an indication that this plantain tree or plant is going to be producing fruits. So that said, I'm very excited. And you guys, I hope you enjoy this little update, and I'll see you back when I'm ready to make some mofongo. Until next time, I'm Evita, Cooks and Gardens. You really have to try it.